number, between the Japanese government who ordered the airplane and Mitsubishi who produced it. So that's in essence a contractual serial number. But now the airplane gets into the hands of a military unit, and they may number it the way they wish to help identify it for that unit, that three-ship fighting element, or that squadron, or the group. So that's what X-133 identifies. That would have been the military unit's identification. The two blue stripes are supposed to, you can see in essence, the camouflage paint job. If you were to get the right light and look closely on it, it is camouflage. It's got lighter and darker shades of green that you don't normally see. You can hardly tell right now. So this was a land-based airplane. The carrier base would have been that, it's almost like a brownish grayish color, lighter color. But this was land-based. Those two blue stripes would have identified a land-based squadron leader, somebody who was in a leadership position within that fighting unit. The other thing to notice about this is how long this aileron is and how large of a percentage of the wing the aileron takes up. A couple things this did. One, at those slower speeds, this deflects a fair amount of air and gives it great maneuverability at what I would call, for a fighter, slower speed. So below 200 knots, 230 miles an hour, this would give this thing great maneuverability because it's displacing so much air, changing the lift structure, the whole aerodynamic thing. What it also did on the other side, though, when it was fast, when it was going fast, up over 200 knots, now this is having to displace a lot of air. The airflow over is greater, and that results from the pilot perspective of it feeling stiff. So it just feels stiff in the roll. And I can relate that to, if I'm flying at an air show, you kind of like to make nice crisp banks and turns at an air show. So, I can't think of the word here. You make the crowd really see how rapidly you can roll and all that. Well, if I come up and if I'm at 230, 240 knots, which is fairly normal to come up and do a brake turn to land, it's two hands to make that nice, quick, sharp roll because of all this air movement there. So pluses and minuses on this thing. They did that because they wanted to get this wing, the wing loading, all of the parameters, the maneuverability they needed to make it a fighter.
To make the airplane
they needed this
fly
wing. Oops, it's 4 inches too long.
Level flight.
So this is what they came up with.
There's
very
no
basic.
change.
They have some super light, minor increases in the weight to be able to do this so that they could fold it up and get it up and down carrying. You'll probably either visualize a lot of our aircraft where the wing fold is much more towards the fuselage, much further down the wing. Well, to do that, you need increased structure. You need probably hydraulics. The Corsair is a hydraulically folded wing, and that's all more weight onto the airplane. So this was a very easy, low increase in weight fix. What we're going to do here is a couple things. We're going to make sure the aileron is in a neutral position so we don't damage either the aluminum here or the fabric. I think we've covered it to protect it a little bit. There's a fairly basic locking mechanism right here. This lever just moves this locking key. When I move this here, these pieces are going to lock into the appropriate part of the wingtip itself to give it its security. Little locking lever there. Now down it comes. This is out. Make sure I'm not clipping my aileron. Straightforward. There we go. They let Japanese continue to send royalty checks back to Hamilton Standard all throughout the war because they were still making Hamilton Standard props in accordance with that license built agreement. Yep, we got this war thing going on, but business is business. sights on kind of the top part of the cowling. Those are where the 7.7 millimeter, the bullets would come out. The actual breech of those machine guns is in the cockpit. And so the pilot would just reach up and manually cock those things, or could try and clear a jam if he needed to. The cannon were electrically, make sure I'm right here, they were electrically primed from the cockpit. He had a switch that he could get those things primed up to go.